Hi, I'm Anna de Rosier, a financial services executive with senior leadership experience at JP Morgan, HSBC, and the London Stock Exchange Group. Most recently, I serve as Chief Operating Officer at Unity Trust Bank. Throughout my career, I've led enterprise-wide transformations across technology, operations, and business risk in highly regulated environments, guiding organizations to shift from firefighting to foresight. What drives me is building institutions that aren't just more digital, but more human, more resilient, and more trusted. At the Banking Transformation Conference, I will be discussing how to lead in a world where AI is embedded at scale, but where human judgment, empathy, and trust must remain at the center. Because the real challenge isn't adopting new technologies, it's redefining leadership to meet a more complex, more connected future. AI is fundamentally transforming decision-making in our sector, driving hyper-personalization, predictive analytics, and real-time fraud detections. But with that transformation comes heightened responsibility. Leaders remain accountable for every decision, whether made by internal models or external tools. Regulations like EU AI Act and evolving FCA guidance require transparency, fairness, and explainability, no matter who builds the model. Responsibility cannot be outsourced. The EU AI Act classifies systems by risk and enforces full lifecycle accountability from design to deployment with mandatory human oversight. The balance we're navigating isn't binary. It's about clarity, understanding where AI can accelerate efficiency and where human judgment must take the lead. Let AI surface anomalies or guide routine calls, but when ethics, context, or trust are in play, leadership must intervene. If you cannot explain an outcome, you cannot defend it, not to the board, the regulator, or the customer. This isn't just a technology conversation, it's a governance conversation. And that's why leadership must remain at the center of every AI initiative. This is the leadership frontier in banking, pairing intelligent systems with principled oversight. The goal isn't just faster decisions, it's smarter, safer, and more accountable ones. AI is changing the leadership landscape, not by replacing human judgment, but by sharpening it. For today's banking leaders, it offers clarity, speed, and capacity. In practice, that means having instant access to insights from across the business, whether it's legal, HR, or compliance, allowing leaders to make faster and more informed decisions without bottlenecks. It's also about foresight. AI helps leaders see around corners by analyzing patterns across customer behavior, market trends, and operational risks. It helps transform fragmented signals into strategic direction. Crucially, AI elevates leadership when it's used to enhance clarity, not just speed. It enables leaders to anticipate risk, personalize engagement, and stay focused on what matters most: people, strategy, and purpose. AI can surface leadership gaps, recommend targeted learning, and help each of us stay adaptive in a fast-changing world. Effective leaders will blend curiosity with conviction. They will educate themselves first so they can guide others. They will replace control with trust and combine tech confidence with emotional intelligence. Leaders need digital fluency to understand where AI fits, where it doesn't, and what its limitations are. The technology is often ready before people are willing to accept it. The gap must be closed by leadership. AI doesn't diminish the human in leadership, it demands more of it. More clarity, more empathy, and more foresight. That's what builds resilience across teams, especially when the pace of change is high. When leaders evolve, institutions evolve. AI isn't just enabling better leaders, it's enabling a new caliber of organizational maturity. To lead AI-supported team effectively, banking leaders must actively shape environments where AI thrives ethically, securely, and at scale. That means prioritizing 4 essential dimensions: governance, infrastructure, culture, and capability. It starts with defining decision rights and ethical boundaries through formal structures like cross-functional AI councils that brings together legal, compliance, technology, and operations. This council challenge assumptions, debate use cases, and establish accountability, making responsible AI a shared enterprise. Next, infrastructure. Leaders must retire legacy systems, streamline architecture, and invest in clean, connected data. No AI strategy can succeed without strong, secure digital foundation. Cultural permission is what sets adoption in motion. That requires open communications, clear ethical standards, and room to experiment safely. And finally, capability. This isn't about becoming data scientists, it's about leaders ensuring that every function understands how to question, interpret, and act on AI outputs responsibly. AI literacy must extend beyond IT. Product owners, risk leaders, and compliance officers alike need to understand how AI functions and what its inputs mean, and where human oversight is critical. That's why leading institutions like JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Lloyds Banking Group are already embedding model governance, structured training, and internal AI academies. They're investing in readiness, not just deployment. Transformation doesn't start with a model. It starts with leadership that is intentional, inclusive, and clear on the path forward. Introducing AI into customer service and compliance brings enormous potential, but these are exactly the area where human judgment, fairness, and emotional connections matter most. In customer service, we risk losing the human touch that defines trust, especially in the moments of vulnerability. Customers don't just want speed, they want to feel heard, understood, and supported. If we cannot explain why AI-driven decisions are made, whether in AML alerts or credit decisions, we jeopardize regulatory compliance and reputational trust. Explainability and audibility aren't optional, they are the price of entry. There's also the issue of fairness. Models trained on historical data may replicate or exaggerate bias. In both customer service and compliance, that can lead to exclusion, mistrust, or harm. Internally, AI creates uncertainty for teams who are worrying about being replaced. Leaders must respond by retaining, redefining roles, and reinforcing purpose. And finally, there's data. Customer service and compliance system depends on vast amounts of sensitive personal information. Governance must be watertight, from GDPR to evolving AI regulations. None of this can work without transparency. Customers, employees, and regulators alike must understand how AI works, why it is used, and where human oversight applies. That's where trust is built or broken. Trust isn't something you build once. It is something you reinforce every time you introduce change, and AI is accelerating change at scale. To maintain trust, banks must lead with transparency. Customers, regulators, and employees need to understand how AI is used, what decision it influences, and where human oversights still apply. If an outcome cannot be explained, it shouldn't be deployed. Governance must evolve alongside adoption. Strong oversight, ethics review, stress testing, and multidisciplinary AI council must be embedded from the outset. Regulatory frameworks like the FCA sandbox show how innovation and accountability can go hand in hand. AI must also deliver relevance. Each use case should solve tangible problems, reducing fraud, improving onboarding, or empowering advisors. If AI creates friction or confusion, trust erodes. Above all, trust must remain human. People trust people, not systems. Leadership visibility, principle communication, and a focus on cultural readiness frame adoption and become a values-driven shift. Engaging early with regulator is just as crucial. Open dialogue and proactive alignment signal compliance and credible partnership. In a sector when one misstep can ripple quickly, trust is the most valuable and fungible currency. As Warren Buffett said, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. In AI-driven banking, that margin is even narrower, and so is the window to lead wisely. The mindset shift ahead is not incremental, it's transformational, from control to curiosity, from command to compassion. Research from Deloitte, McKinsey, and the World Economic Forum highlights a growing tension at the top. AI transformation is accelerating while leadership resilience is being tested. Burnout, decision fatigue, and the erosion of psychological safety are real concerns for executive teams. This means stewardship must start with presence. It's not about always having the answers, but about guiding with clarity, empathy, and shared purpose. Effective leaders ask better questions, create environments where people feel safe to speak up, and translate complexity into meaning. This also demands emotional clarity. In a world of intelligent systems, people still want to feel seen and valued. Compassion is not a soft skill, it's a strategic imperative. Teams navigating AI need more than direction. They need hope, encouragement, and trust in the system. Leadership now means orchestrating ecosystems, aligning incentives, shaping cultural norms, and bridging business, tech, and regulatory domain into single strategic narrative. Stewardship isn't about control. It's about service, responsibility, and the courage to lead with conviction in uncertain times. It's about orchestrating systems, teams, and partnership with humility, strategic coherence, and the ability to lead through complexity, not despite it.